How are you?
Nadia, I'm doing great. Thank you for your time and happy to say hello to you today.
Hi. Are you in Colombia right now?
Right now, I just returned from the Amazon forest. I'm developed my doctoral research with indigenous communities, and I'm have some days in Bogota. So I'm
Oh,
kind of in the city, my city place.
amazing.
Yeah.
So you're a well-known conservationist, biologist. I hope I'm saying this correctly. Entomologist.
Sure.
You're involved in science communication. How did you get involved with a bug's life and serving as a field specialist in nature documentaries for National Geographic?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it did started by wanting to know things that were not being known to me at the moment. I studied biology in Bogota, and I was having different courses, but sometimes, depending on the season, universities give or do not give some courses. So in this case, I was missing entomology. They were teaching invertebrate, but not entomology. So I heard from a friend that in Costa Rica there was a very good teacher called Paul Hanson, and he turned out to be an orchid bee expert. And he taught me about insects. I came back and decided to do my thesis with a PhD researcher, Santiago Ramirez. He was working in Harvard at that time, and he gave me the opportunity to collect bees, to research for a year. And this is I even have some specimens from that back in that time.
Oh, wow.
Uh, so this was how I got to travel consistently to the territory, to the ecosystem, to know the different species, to spend many hours in the microscope. It is because of wanting to learn something new. And then when the producers and the researchers of the nature documentaries started to find the experts in Europe and in the US and in South America, they reached my teachers, and they were busy at that time. So they said, like, you know what, I'm busy, but this student might have a little bit more time, so talk to him. And that's why. So that is how I turned out to be working for Nat Geo.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
can you tell us how the specialists work together? Because it's very different working with creatures and animals and insects. Like in this case, for behind the camera, you're working with director John Carpenter. How do you like I guess cooperate together and get like the footage that they want? Like how does that kind of work when you're working with things such as insects? Like you
Yeah.
I saw have like your special potions and stuff. Like, I guess how do you kind of go about getting the footage that they like?
Yeah, yeah. I need to see the footage. Why am I the only one who haven't seen it?
Really?
Waiting for the premiere. John Capenner. It is. I thought at the beginning that it was also Carpenter. It's Capenner. John
Carpenter.
is a great person. Um, that is not necessarily it happens. No, you can be a biologist and maybe you're not a nice person, or you can be a nature documentary director and be not a nice person. But in this case, he is. And I mention this because this requires a lot of communication. What is happening in his mind, what is possible with the animal, and what is possible with the equipment. So it's actually a conversation in between at least three minds: the director, the animal handler, and the cameraman operator, as they said. And sometimes, and you need a lot of patience because sometimes the cameraman wants to, or woman wants to do something right now, and sometimes you have to stand on the ground and say, like, nope, that's not going to happen, or we need to, no, the animals need to rest, or that behavior is not going to happen now. And sometimes be creative, no, find a solution. So having patience, having good communication, not making too much assumptions, and knowing the limits of the others' expertise is what happened with us. So working with John and Kirby, the cameraman, and the crew was fantastic. In this case, best of the best and very nice people. So very professional and very kind persons. So it was at some point very easy.
And you're known as the bug whisperer and the bee expert. They called you in to help like entice these bees. They're called the orchid bees. I've never seen these before. They're very interesting, the green bees. So how did you go about like developing your own collection of orchids, your secret solution of the scents? Because the males are attracted to different scents. So you have to learn about like botany, like plant study, the different environments. I guess how does that kind of work? Like your science communication background and like developing these different things for different environments and for the male bees and studying the plant aspect. Like I feel like it entails so much.
Yeah, yeah, it does. I don't know. You ask many questions. Um, they're all very interesting. It is experience of visiting one place uh, and knowing the diversity of that place and knowing which scent works better in that place. Um, but in this case, it's also kind of easy because not with all animals you can have this that you put something and they come. Sometimes
Hmm.
you can put some baits of not like rotten food or fruit in the composition, and some butterflies will come and some other animals will come. But in this case, when you put the scents in this case is eucalyptol. Um, you, you most for sure know that it will happen in 10 or 15 minutes that the orchid bees will come, the males. So you have a very special opportunity to work with this particular type of bee because they are interested in collecting this perfume to lure the females. So without these perfumes that they collect from natural fragrances, but when you offer them super concentrated perfume, they say like, yeah, like this is my best day ever. I can have a new perfume for free.
For
And
free.
so yeah, well, they didn't get paid to appear in the documentary. So it is kind of easy. But what you need to learn is to measure it very well, not to put too much or too little in which time of the day and which type of perfume will attract different bee. So you can tell different stories. There are 216 species of orchid bees, but we are only working with one or two species. So it depends on knowing the place. I have visited this place at least 20 times. So my second home. Mhm.
Nice. And lastly, can you tell us what we can do to help promote like pollinator friendly, I guess like plants in various landscapes? Because living in a city is going to be very different from like these orchid bees. So I guess ways that people can help participate to protect, because I know bees are very important for the world to function.
Yeah, there are at least two ways. One, consume products that do not use severe pesticides and herbicides. So crops that have a thoughtful are thoughtful of these surrounding animals. And you can also, even if you have live in the city, you can have a gardener with some flowers that will offer some nectar. So look for the the native plants in your area, the native bees in your area. Just research that a little bit on the internet or any book, and then plant those plants in your backyard or in a little pot nearby. That might help on a daily basis of some insects and pollinators.
So thank you so much, Carlos.
Thank you, Nadia.